Hey Rasmanites, how's it going? Well, for this week's gaming video, I thought what I would do is to redo one of my most popular videos. My video had to be taken down for a few reasons, but it got a lot of views when it was up, even though it was done on a really crappy camera at the time. So today we are going to do a proper high definition reposting of the review for WWE Legends of WrestleMania for the Xbox 360 on the Razman's Reality. WWE Legends of WrestleMania was WWE's attempt to give the legends of the sport their own game and their own showcase. And it really was just a tying game for last year's 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. This game is actually a really cool game because it throws you back to the old school arcade style controls and way of doing things. A lot of people prefer the SmackDown engine, but I actually really enjoyed the controls for this one. Let me give you an example. Say that you're Shawn Michaels. Well, you have 3 steps to your finisher. The first step, of course, is the clothesline elbow takedown. Then after that step, you see your 360 buttons pop up on screen, and you have to hit the exact button that comes up in order to continue your finisher. So step 2 for Shawn Michaels would be, of course, climbing the top rope and nailing the top rope elbow. And then the third and final step would be the Sweet Chin Music, where you see him warm up the band and hit the super kick. So I actually really enjoyed this because it's a 3-step process, and one of the hardest things about SmackDown continues to be climbing the top rope. That is not an easy task to do these days in wrestling titles. So that was a big plus for me. Game modes in this one are very, very cool. Of course, the big moniker of the game was Relive, Rewrite, and Redefine. In the Relive mode, you have some of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history, and you actually have to recreate the most poignant moments of those matches and make them happen exactly as they happened back then. So that's really cool. You have mini games, of course, to pull off moves and things of that nature, so that's really fun. 2 of my favorite matches in this mode are Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy and Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. In the rewrite mode, you do the opposite. You have some of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history, and you actually control the loser and cause the loser to actually win the match. The time that this really irritated me was when they chose to do it with the single greatest wrestling match in the history of the sport. And of course I'm talking about Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart from WrestleMania 12, the first ever and best ever WWE Iron Man match. Over an hour, those two wrestled, and Shawn Michaels captured his first then WWF championship, of course now WWE. But in the game, you control Bret the Hitman Hart and have Bret the Hitman Hart retain the WWE championship against Shawn. So that was a bit irritating, but still an entertaining idea for a mode nonetheless. Then in Redefine, you have some great matches in WrestleMania history. but with new stipulations and new twists, such as the Body Slam challenge at WrestleMania between King Kong Bundy and Andre the Giant is now a Hell in the Cell match, where you actually control either man. They give you a choice and redefine, because you're literally redefining it, so you can make either one win that you want to win. But you're either man, and you throw the individual off the top of Hell in the Cell. So that was pretty interesting, that move. For a creative wrestler in Legends of WrestleMania, you have gauntlet matches with all of the superstars in the game, eventually ending with every single superstar, legendary superstar, that's in the title. And you basically just build up your stats and win the greatest legend of all time trophy by doing so. So, not the greatest thing. They definitely focused on the legends more than greatest superstar in this game. Complete opposite of this year's SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. But you do definitely want to do it if you pick up this game, because you get an Xbox 360 achievement or a PlayStation 3 trophy. So yeah, you definitely want to do it if you pick this game up. All in all, a great idea for a premise for the game, but I don't think it sold very well, so I'm not really surprised that it didn't get made again this year, and they just left it for a WrestleMania tie-in. They might remake the game in the future, because it was a lot of fun. So if you're a wrestling fan, I recommend picking it up. I give it 4 out of 5 stars though, just because of the fact that they could have done a lot more with Creative Wrestler. But for somebody like me that actually struggles with some of the SmackDown controls, this was great. This engine was great. This is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.